Today's video should be pretty short and simple and to the point. You're going to need a few things to do your services on your Bobcat S250 or other S-Series Bobcats. First and foremost, you're going to need a 7/8 inch box and wrench, a crescent wrench, or a second 7/8 inch box and wrench. You're going to need a couple of filter wrenches. You're going to need a larger one that's, I think it's good for about 3.5, 4 inch diameter, and then you're going to need a smaller one that's good for roughly about 2.5, 3 inch diameter. You're also going to need a, well, it doesn't have to be Baldwin. I'm just giving you the filter numbers. That way you can cross-reference them and get whatever you want. Go to your local auto parts store, Napa or AutoZone, something like that. They should be able to cross-reference these and get what you need. You're going to need a Baldwin Bravo 1434 filter. That's for your engine oil. You will also need a Baldwin Bravo Tango, so BT 8840-Mike Papa Golf, MPG. That is for your hydraulic filter. Your fuel filter, you will need a Baldwin, and it's a Bravo Foxtrot, so BF 1257, and that's for your fuel filter. All right, so I've got them both on there. All I'm gonna do is just twist. It shouldn't take a whole lot. Last time we changed the oil, it doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to keep these from leaking. Put that right there. We're gonna let this drain out. Now that we have the oil drained out, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the filter wrench here. We'll take the oil filter itself off, and then from there, it should be pretty simple and straightforward of putting everything back. Unfortunately, there's not a good way to do it without this dripping. I guess you could put a piece of plastic or something under there, and I probably should have done that, but I didn't. So make sure you do that. Got our new filter, throw it on. No, I don't oil the seal because there's already oil on that surface already. All right, that's done. We're gonna go ahead and put this back on as well, just to make sure we don't forget before we fill it up with oil. Take this, spin it back up, put it back in its holder, and then we don't have to worry about that no more. And just like that, we're ready to fill it up with oil. 14 quarts later, and it's full. So now we are good to go. It does take I get it, it holds a lot of oil for a small engine. Fuel filter is also very simple. Oops, I put that on backwards, didn't I? Ooh, it's on there pretty tight. Oh, look at that. Didn't even make a mess. Give us a little time, we probably will make a mess. Just like that, put our new one back on. Make sure you prime this, so pump it. I don't know how many times you're gonna need to, but pump it till it gets solid again. That way you know you have fuel in there. This one's already pretty solid, so we're gonna leave it. Now when you lift your cab up, you're gonna see you'll have access to this hydraulic filter. It's important to replace that. Now, ours, I'm not gonna tell you you need to do it the same as us because everybody's kind of different about that. I'm not exactly sure what the book says either. However, basically every year for us, which is roughly, like I said, this year is 120 hours. Usually it's somewhere around 70 hours. Wrong way. Check your oil level on your hydraulic system. Make sure you're not low. Make sure you're not too full either. We also check the oil down here by your feet. This is your chain, the case basically that has the chain in it that runs from the front to the rear axle and is driven, is your trying to think of the technical term here, but I guess the drive chain box, what do you want to call it? Check the oil in there, make sure it's up to the appropriate level. Also, make sure that it's not, because if your wheel seals are leaking, it will be very low. While you're in here, don't forget to check your air filter. Really easy to check. Just unscrew this, and then it'll be right there. Now, this one's probably pretty dirty because we've been dealing with a bunch of sawdust and manure and hay and everything else, so I can only imagine what it looks like. Oh, geez. Oh yeah, a little dirty. Can't tell, this one is very filthy. And that's after only 120 hours. Actually, it's not even that, because I cleaned it out during hay season too. So it's probably got somewhere around 30 hours, 40 hours on it. Probably 40 hours, I guess. But this is the second year for that air filter, and we are going to change it anyways. So. All right, we got that off. Yeah, this is done too. These were old when we got as you can tell, I mean, you can see the rust on them. These have been old. We got the skid steer, and we never replaced the air filters because they're actually pretty clean, but they did have the rust on them. So we decided that we'd use them for a little bit, but this is year 2. We're gonna replace those. Last but definitely not least, check your coolant levels, make sure they're good. Make sure your coolant's not old either. If it is, drain it, replace it. We'd actually just drained ours last year and replaced it because we had to replace a couple lines on this hydraulic oil cooler. So we figured while we're here, let's just knock that out too. And there you have it, just like that. All your services are done. The only thing left to do now, fire it up. Fired right up, no problems. Don't mind the squealing belt, that's normal for mine for some reason. The belt's actually in good shape, it just squeals. I think I have something that must leak on there a little bit and get it just a little bit moist and then run it a little bit and then it stops. Because you've seen as soon as I revved it, it stopped, so I don't know. But make sure you take care of your equipment and it'll take care of you. Thanks for watching, have a blessed week, we'll see you next time.